is going on, everybody? Welcome to the AMC Livecast. This is me, the Scale Model Outlaw, Mike, and my co-host,
Jason from Klein Race Car Designs. How's everybody doing?
And of course, our awesome producer, Mr. Bruce.
Hi, Bruce and Bruce's Eclectic-World, and Rick made it.
And Rick made it. I saw I got a little bleep up there. That's awesome. Backstage, we were a little nervous. Rick was pulling a Lucas C on us and trying to, skate in at the last minute. If you're not familiar who we're talking about and you didn't see the awesome flyer that Bruce put out, we have Jim and Rick from JR Salvino's Model Kits here on the AMC Livecast live tonight for you guys to visit, get to know a little bit about, maybe ask some questions. We're so looking forward to having those guys on here. It's a really big deal for us. First manufacturer we've ever had on as far as kits go. We've had some 3D printer guys in here. We've had some paint guys in here, but this is our first kit manufacturer that we've ever had, and we are super excited.
Yep, for sure. Yes, hopefully it will lead to some more. That'll be really awesome to get more perspective on how the kits are made. So
right. And I did some research on both Jim and Rick. Rick has a very colorful background. His family's been involved in NASCAR and racing for a long time. Jim I found out some cool stuff about him, so we're gonna ask him about that stuff. And well, let's just go ahead. What do you guys think? Let's get to our social media shout outs and get those guys up here so we can ask them some questions and check them out.
Let's do it.
All right. So here we go.
Well, this one's mine, everybody. Most of us all know our buddy Cliff. Cliff's one heck of a dude. I love it. Watching Cliff's channel, enjoy everything he does. I really grateful to call him a friend first and foremost. He's been an avid person to serve his country. I enjoy everything about Cliffster. So if you haven't already, go over there and get Cliffy a sub. Let's get him past the 700 mark. He's been at this 700 mark for a while. So go over there, check out Cliffy. He does Monday night lives, and he also does some Wreckfest broadcasting stuff on Wednesdays as well. So go over there, check out the GI Mechanic.
I have had the dubious pleasure of meeting and sharing a beer. I say sharing a beer. He had his beer. I had my beer. I didn't put my lips for his word. But I've had the dubious pleasure of hanging out with Sarge, and he is just the nicest guy you could ever want to meet. He's loud and he's proud, but he's a great guy. And his channel over there, what he's building. If you guys saw his dart that he built for the group build, as far as I've seen, the only 4-wheel drive lifted dart that I've seen in the group build. There may be others out there. I just haven't seen them, but gotta love Sarge, man. What a great guy, thoughtful guy, good guy, man. We got to hang out with him at Acme last year, myself and BG and Ted. So we had a really good time. Y'all, like Jason said, y'all go check out Sarge. He's got 700. Let's get him up there, man. Let's get him up to 800, 900. Let's maybe even get him over 1,000.
All righty. Who's next?
This is mine. I want to give a shout out to Mike's Mods and Customs. I wasn't sure who I was going to use this week until I seen his video on the garage diorama he's starting, and I was all excited about getting the garage diorama till he held up a bag of bricks. You glue individually on the board.
Oh wow!
That's a lot.
He said he spent 4 days.
Yeah, I love Mike. He's a good dude.
He's a great guy. Yeah. Not said the Mikes need to run over there and give him a share like a sub, and he has some interesting work.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, Mike did a Hot Wheels car for one of the guys. Was it BG maybe? I think it was one of the Scale Model car podcast guys.
I think you're right.
I think it was BG, and it was a very unique car that, maybe ran on a couple different tracks, but BG had a picture of it or something, and Mike was able to recreate that Hot Wheels car. Now, I've seen those guys that do Hot Wheels work. That's even more.
Mike does a lot of Hot Wheel work.
Yeah, he does like a lot of that.
So definitely go check Mike out, Mike's Mods and Customs. I know who's next.
And he's
That
in
would
here.
be
Oh,
me.
now
That would
there's
be
a really
me
good
and my friend
channel right
JT.
there.
Do you want to say it again? I'm sorry, Jason.
That's a really good channel right there too.
Yeah. I need JT's great guy, putting out some really, really cool stuff. He participates a lot in the group stuff as far as like Joe that does Big Sky Models that does the What You Get Wednesday. I was looking at that 64 Nova that he was working on for his local group build in his club. Really doing a great job. Great, the Mobius kit. I don't know if that was his first one or not, but he was talking about no flash and whatever. It's one of those. Mobius is one of those examples that really good, well built, well engineered model kits for sure. So definitely go check out JT. And I need my garage time. Great guy, great content. Give him a big old thumbs up and tell him that the AMC livecast sent you.
Yeah, I love his slogan. I'm just living life one scale model at a time. So,
Amen. But talking about well engineered, well designed, very cool kits, to circle back to where we started, we got some awesome guys in the green room. I think they're probably eating up all the donuts and drinking all the iced tea, but we got
I
them
hope
back
they
there in the
don't
green room.
I'm hungry. I need a donut.
Right? Maybe I need to be in the green room to feed my fat self. But let's, if you guys are cool with it, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and roll their beautiful bean footage and get those guys up here.
Let's roll it.
Are you ready? Let's go.
That
The star of the show is the dog.
right. Always the star of the show is the dog.
That's it. Let's just retire.
Right
We're
there,
done.
How
Night, everybody.
going to beat that, right? She not only went
How
and
you
got the
doing,
ball, she
guys?
brought it back and gave it to you. What's happening, Mr.
Hey,
Rick?
Rick.
Jim, thank you
Hi,
guys
Rick.
so much.
I don't think we've all any of us met, but nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you, sir. My name is Mike. I'm the Scale Model Outlaw. I think you've at least talked to or heard about Mr. Bruce, our awesome producer.
And I'm
Hi,
Jason.
Rick.
Yeah,
I go by KRD, Klein Race Car Designs.
Nice. So you
okay.
guys.
Well, I know you guys from the internet. I've never seen your faces before.
Well, fortunately, we're all friends of Lucas C. Matt, and Matt was kind enough to put us each in touch together. And I think the icebreaker was Bruce was helping you guys out with your new Saturday show.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, Bruce is the
Oh,
we talk about Bruce. He's the best there is, the best
I'm
there was,
spinning.
the best there ever will be when it comes to producers. Man, Bruce has definitely got it figured out.
You may be spinning, Rick, but we can see you.
All
Good to
right,
see you,
there you
buddy.
go. You guys are back. I lost you there for a second. You were spinning, but
That's what happens when you're driving.
Matt Conti, good buddy of ours. He does a Saturday show every morning with us. Every morning at 7:00 Pacific time. We do a show similar to yours, and then we have a tip segment, and me and Matt hash it out. And Jim is actually, let me tell you a story about Jim. I met Jim
Yes.
in 1988. But it might have been before that, but anyways, close enough for hand grenades, right?
Close enough.
The
So
bio says
I-
1988 from a mutual friend. So
there you go. So anyways, I'm in my car. Sorry, guys.
you're good.
But So I had Jim in 1988. I had been working in racing for God most of my life since I was a kid, right? And then about 1987, I decided I had to get out because I didn't want to travel the rest of my life. I had a kid. So I decided to start a figurine company. And I show up to an RC car track, which is related to model cars.
Sure.
And this happened to be this mutual friend now, Dave Berger. And I go, man, I cannot find an artist to sculpt these figurines. And he goes, don't worry about it, Rick. I got your guy. And so the very next, I think that night actually he called him. By the next day, Jim was doing a trials ride up in Colorado, as I recall. And by that Monday morning, I think we were meeting up, and me and Jim have been together ever since. So it's been a long ride, but I always say the joke is it was all meant to do this in the long run, make these model cars. So anyways, Jim's the talent. I'm the mouthpiece.
I can relate to that. I can so relate to that statement. You and me, my friend. You and me.
He's the mouthpiece, and I'm the pretty face.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the pretty face.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, Jason's the pretty face, Bruce is the brains, and I'm the mouthpiece.
So he does the decoration and all the actual real work, and I make the clock go around.
Yeah, we just show up, right?
Well, not really. I have to make all the deals. So
Rick's and my relationship has business has been the thing that I always wanted. I'm actually a sculptor. I sculpted toy prototypes for 30 years for different companies. You guys have kids. You've probably stepped on something in the dark that came off of my desk.
Oh, now I know who to blame.
Let me expand a little bit on some of the people that Jim has worked for. Disney, Lucasfilms, Warner Brothers, and DreamWorks, to name a few.
Hey, wait. You left out Salvino's figurines. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really?
I got a cease and desist order from Jim's lawyers, and don't mention that one. No,
but anyways,
to say that Jim sculpted a couple toys is a major understatement. He worked for major companies, and that's awesome.
But it gave me, this has given me the opportunity to do what I always wanted, and that is let me do what I do, and that's sculpt or sit back there and scream at the computer and do the design, and let somebody do the business side. So Rick does the business side, I make things look pretty, and it works out really good. Plus, we're 1,400 miles away from each other, so we can't get entirely too sick of dealing with each other.
There is that.
That's true.
Now,
it's worked out really good. It's pretty fun. I'll give you guys a little background of the company. So, 208 hit. I had a very successful company. Jim had a successful studio, and several sculptors working for him, and I was killing it actually. And of course, '08 came, and the world fell apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like after that was over, we had some years, we had a few bucks each, and we go, what the hell are we going to do now? Well, I love models, cars. I built them since I was a kid. I've worked in racing. I've been around everybody since the 60s to the 70s to the 80s, And in 87, I quit, and that's when me and Jim hooked up. But so we're thinking, what the hell are we going to do? And we go, let's make model cars. And we had no clue how to do it, zero experience, right? Other than knowing how to build them, right? And we just said, well, we've done so many other things. We can figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we scratched enough money together to get that Oldsmobile out, the Gray Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history. Now we're licensed with all the car manufacturers, all the teams, now we're IndyCar. We got NHRA coming with
Sweet.
Ron Capps. We got, Actually, I'll break some news here tonight on your show. Never.
Oh, and then he freezes up.
Oh, man.
Man.
Oh, breaking news.
Breaking news. I don't even know what it is yet.
Breaking news.
The joke is I'm the company mushroom. I'm kept in the dark, and you know what they feed me.
Right.
Hot pockets.
Well, while he's froze up, to touch on it just a little bit, he briefly touched on his racing background. I think much like Jim was just touching on his, sculpting background. Rick's dad was Ralph Salvino. He was the head communications guy for STP. He was very much a huge part of anything to do with STP at NASCAR. In 81, I think it was. He's the guy riding on the hood. Ralph Salvino was a major part, and I can only imagine that Rick, grew up in that era with his dad being that guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, a huge part of Richard Petty. Now, Jim, if memory serves and my research is correct, the 72 Riverside that they're just now releasing this month's Kit of the Month kit, is that the first time? If like I said, if my research is correct, that's the first time STP was tied in with Petty, and that's why they went down to the hardware store and got that red paint to put on the spoiler on the front.
I believe so. Yeah, it's the construction marking paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
That they got. And I guess most of it was all sandblasted off by the end of the race. But that was the first one. I don't know if if Rick's going to come back or what, but he may. But at Riverside, later on, it was like Dale Earnhardt's first race, and I don't know if he had the blue and yellow car or what. First race was out at Riverside, and Rick put the first STP sticker on Dale's car.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that
so
is
it's
very cool.
It is such a cool history, and it was really a treat for me when I'd go back out, when I'd make the trips back out to California to visit. I'd stay at Rick's house, and every time I'd get a chance to sit down and listen to stories from Ralph. So it was really a treat to hear about the stuff. So he's back.
He's back.
Are you back?
What happened is I'm sitting in California and my phone overheated while I was sitting in the car. So I apologize.
No worries.
But anyways, the breaking news was is that we'll break it on Saturday, but we'll break it on your channel here. I'm a huge Jim Clark fan. That was my first hero of my life, and of course we lost him too early. But the Wood brothers, who are good friends of mine, Eddie and Leonard, they are doing a throwback because their dad and their uncle and the rest of the family pitted Jim Clark's car at the 1965 Indy 500, which we do have coming out in a multimedia kit in probably about 60, 90 days.
Nice.
But to Jim Clark car, the dark, I think it might be on our site already. Just came out today, and so we're going to have the Jim Clark 1965 throwback on Josh Berry's car.
Nice.
So
very
awesome.
We're excited about it. I think it's really cool. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the British Racing Green, the yellow stripe. It was kind of one of the first racing models. The AMC Lotus 29. I don't know if you guys remember that, how old you are. But that was the first racing model I ever got, was the AMT Lotus 29, and kind of got me started in the whole model car thing. And of course, they made the Watson Roadster, JC Agajanians, Parnelli '63 winner after that, and that was like the first 2 race cars I got my hands on.
That's
And
awesome.
of course, IMC, I think it was IMC originally owned the Lotus 38, which is what we're making and what this car is a copy of, you know, the paint scheme.
Right.
So yeah, we have that available. It's going to be up tonight sometime, depending on Marco. Me and Jim don't do that stuff, but it's pretty cool. It just popped up today. It's kind of a neat thing. We do have these multimedia kits out. Jim's put a ton of work into these. And what we're doing is we have a 1/20th IndyCar program. And of
There it
course,
is.
you can't do injection molding on old Indy cars, right? So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Studio 27 or Model Factory Hero. They're a couple Japanese companies. They do a lot of 1/20th Formula One cars. Well, we decided that we're going to do some multimedia kits, which means resin, photo etch, and spun metal.
Nice.
And we're doing Jim Clark's Lotus 1965 and 66 car. And we're doing Mario Andretti's 1969 Lotus 64. They're all done. Jim's actually doing the castings now to be able to do the spun metal. So I would say about within 60, 90 days, right, Jim? We'll have those available for sale.
Let's keep the fingers crossed.
Right.
Yeah, it took
We've
a
tried
little longer than we.
everything else to get the prototypes, and finally I decided to go back the old school way and make them like jewelry. So I've got right here the cast bronze engine parts. So
Well,
we'll have
what
some
happened was
really good masters.
we kept reading these resins. Oh, they'll take up to 400 degrees, right? Well, guess what? When you put them under 400 degrees, they melt. So we had to cast them in the old school ring way. So Jim, of course, did bronzes and stuff. So I mean, a couple of old guys can figure it out, you know.
So we got a question
I rely on Jim.
we got a question in the chat. Since you guys brought up NHRA, are you guys going to do any nostalgia drag car kits?
No, right now we just have Ron Caps. Is what we're going to do right now. We're going to do Ron Caps. We're going to do a couple of the throwback snake cars that he did, and we're going to do the Napa deal, and it's also combined with Napa, so you'll see them in Napa stores.
Okay.
But it's a hell of a deal for us, and that's how we're going to get started in the NHRA. So
Cool.
I mean, our goal from day one was to do all the major American racing series, which is NASCAR, of course, is the 500-pound gorilla.
Yep.
And then IndyCar would be next, and then NHRA, you know?
Yep.
So this is our step into that. And so we'll just expand from there, you know?
Gloria, I asked that same question, and Jim said no, but about the trucks. But last Saturday on your show, to give our listeners a little brief, you guys talked about the cost of what it takes to make a mold, like a fresh mold. Would
It's
you guys
about
take a second to share that with our viewers?
$400,000.
How
It's about
much?
$400,000
for the
400. I about
for the
fell out. I
complete
was running
everything.
my
Yeah,
bulldozer.
almost
about
a
fell out on that.
$500,000, guys. Okay.
Yeah, I used
So
to make
that's
them.
why the multimedia is for the old Indy cars, because it just doesn't make sense to invest that kind of money. So whereas like
Right.
NHRA, it's pretty much a spec car, you know, where you just change the bodies.
Yeah.
NASCAR's the same way, and IndyCar's the same way, just an engine change. So
Right.
it makes financial sense
Right.
to do those series. But anything outside of that would be multimedia, which they're much more expensive. Don't get me wrong, and they're harder to build, but at least you have it. So will
I think
I'll finish my thought. So the multimedia, will it expand into NHRA? Eventually, yes.
Okay.
You know.
And I think that's something that's missing in our genre of the hobby, as far the multimedia stuff. Because if you go to tanks, if you go to aircraft, you can get that multimedia stuff. You can get stuff that you don't have to call up a 3D printer. We love our 3D print guys because
Yeah.
you know, as car builders, we definitely do a lot of custom stuff. But a very good friend of mine, Rob Adams from the Model Insanity podcast, he makes a valid point. Like you can't go to even a hobby store and buy something that's not, as far as you know, car kits go, that's kind of not really, you know, I mean, it's rather simple. But the multimedia stuff, I think you guys will really do well with that. Cost is always going to be a thing, you know. Some people won't be interested in the price, but for guys that are people that are advanced and want to build something that's challenging, and even if they're, if let's just say, and I have no idea what the price numbers will be, but let's just say they're in the $100 range. If the time it takes to build them and the effort that it takes, you know, by the hour, that's you're actually getting more money or more value for your time
Mhm.
than if you bought an old monogram kit and threw it together in, you know, 20 minutes or whatever.
Absolutely. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. I mean, I've built many multimedia kits over the years, you know, from Studio 27, which specializes in curbside, and then Model Factory Hero is high detailed. Now, these first two kits we have, the Lotus 38 is a high detailed kit, and so is the Lotus 64. And then now we're talking with you know, some other people to do some more curbside, which is much cheaper and much easier to build. You know, the high detail multimedia is for a very advanced builder. You know, a lot of drilling of holes, a lot of, you know, just it's just a lot. There's a lot to it. You know, I love them, but you know, that's me.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah. I get
I
it,
love
but
model cars, so you
you
know.
guys still offer, you know, the out of the box kits, right? So if your
Absolutely.
budget says no to the multimedia kits, you still have great NASCAR kits in your new NASCAR kits, which was I'd like to expand on with the in my research that I did. I'm trying to be prepared for this because you guys are like huge for us. We again, Rick, you kind of missed it a little bit early on, but we are so proud to have you guys on here. So I
I
wanted to make sure
appreciate
that I
that.
knew what I
Thank
was
you.
talking about. Are you guys the only ones that are building next gen model kits? Is that right? I
Yeah,
couldn't find any.
we're the only ones stupid enough to do it. Um, you know, we call ourselves the Colonel Sanders of model cars, or the garage band of model car
Right.
companies. Yeah, but it's more of a Jim's just been a phenomenal sculptor his whole life. Our lives have crossed most of our lives. We've known each other, and you know, when I thought about doing it, he was moving away to Texas. And to me, that was a billion miles away. And all of a sudden, we realized with the internet, nope, we can do this together. And
Sure.
Mhm.
so we decided we pulled forces. We got family, friends, anybody would throw a dime in, you know what I mean? And we came out with our first kit, the Gray Ghost, and made it by the skin of our teeth, and people got behind it. It just took
Yeah,
off,
they really
and
did.
pretty soon we're licensed by every major car manufacturer, NASCAR. We got a full IndyCar line, which is, I'll tell you, our Indy cars are mind blowing to build. I don't know if you've ever built one,
I've
but
No.
not. I
they
was telling.
they Jim did a better job. I built Tamiya my whole life. You know, I'm a model car guy. I'm a race car guy. I grew up in the industry, you know, in the racing industry.
Yep.
I built every 1/20th model car, 1/12th model car ever made, right? And I'll tell you, Jim did a better job on our Indy car than Tamiya has ever done on any of their kits. And it's also the materials we use. We use a high impact styrene, which you can manipulate. It has no memory. So you can create fits. Let's say you have a buildup on something, right? You painted too much or whatever. Well, if you have a kit that you can't manipulate, you know, you got a gap, right?
Yep.
Well, this high impact styrene that Jim worked with Chad on, that you know, now you can manipulate your kit to make up for your modeling, however you model, right? If you use heavy lacquer, heavy clear coats, whatever, you can adjust the car by just bending it. It has no memory whatsoever, this
Yeah,
styrene.
Yeah. So if you've got
that
more parts, you can straighten them out a lot easier too.
yeah.
That's
People
kind of an
complain. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead,
that's
Joe.
kind
I'm
of an
sorry.
issue with the under tray on the next gen car is it's a large flat piece.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, my camera does that.
Yeah, mine's doing it too.
It's a large flat piece, and it it warps easily because of just the manufacturing process. But Rick did a video last Saturday on the a tip, and in just about a minute, if you start tweaking and pulling and twisting,
Come on, Les.
it's you got it where it's flat, and that's the beauty of the high impact styrene. The toys have been made out of
Well,
that forever.
the
Yeah.
trade-off is you could make a part that doesn't move. You can use really stiff styrene, right? Like
Yep.
Tamiya uses, which I love Tamiya. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing Tamiya. I love their products, right? But I wish they'd use high impact styrene because it would make much easier to put engine covers on and things like that, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to stress fracture it to get it on, you know. But like our under tray, it can be warped, it could be whatever. But the reasoning is we don't want to make it as thick as like the die cast because then it looks stupid, right?
Amen.
We
Yeah.
want to keep it as thin as we possibly can.
For
But with
scale.
the high impact styrene, with it, Jim will tell you within 30 seconds, I bend them all up on that. If you watch our last week's video,
Yeah.
I bent it all up. In 30 seconds, I can flatten it out. You know, has zero memory in this material. And I ran into it for the first time is when Revell Monogram combined and they reissued those 4 NASCAR kits, the Petty, the Hardy's car, the whatever. I don't need to go through them all. But anyways, when they reissued them, I seen this styrene and I go, what the hell is this crap? I mean, I thought it was crap, right? And then as I come to find out, wow, this is the greatest stuff I ever came across, you know?
That's it.
And
Yeah, it's good stuff.
no
And that
memory,
Saturday show, when you
zero
guys
memory.
really, you guys get into that on that Saturday, this past Saturday show, and it's really neat the video you made. And listen, I can relate, dude. I couldn't be out here and be 2 foot away. I couldn't do that, right? I'm with you. I'm up close and personal with everything I'm working
Oh,
on.
you,
So I feel
I
your
never,
pain when you're making those videos.
I never made one in my life, to be honest with you, till about 2 weeks ago, right? And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, oh, this is easy. I'm going to glue together the wastegate with the exhaust, right? So I did one side real quick before Jim. I mean, literally, we're making these videos 30 minutes before the show starts, right? And I go, okay. All of a sudden, I'm working 2 feet away from my face, right? I can't see a damn thing, you
Because
know?
the camera's, yeah.
I'm sitting here, I'm sitting there going, I can't even see the holes, you know?
or
That's it.
or and I do it too when I do the unboxings is move it in a little bit away from the camera, just
Well,
my side of the camera. I can see it fine.
I do it all the time.
I
Yeah, so
actually,
you
my,
got
and, go ahead,
hats
go ahead,
off to
Rick.
you guys that do those videos on how to build and stuff. I mean, I'll keep doing them, but it's going to take a while to figure it out, or I'm going to have to
It
get some
does. It does.
glasses.
Well,
I
listen,
need.
you can follow anybody and go back to their go through their library and go back to their first videos. I'll use myself as an example. My first videos were more comical than they were anything else because you just But as you grow with it, you will definitely get better. But I brought up that point and what you when the one of the videos you were having a hard time keeping what you were working on in the camera. So the last video I did, which was for my USAC build, I'm over here holding the motor, and the motor's off cam. I'm like, Rick, I feel your pain, buddy. I do the same thing.
Well, it's hard to do the work, look at the screen, and then it's 2 feet away from your face. I mean, I'm used to working like right here. You know what I mean? Goggles on, goggles on. You got your little clippers or whatever. What do you call them?
Nippers.
Nippers, whatever, right in your face, and all of a sudden you're way the hell out of here, and it's like, whoa, But anyways, we'll figure it out. But I think I got the message across, and that's what's important. That the styrene is high impact styrene.
Absolutely.
You do not need to put it in hot water. You do not need to, any of that crap. That's all BS. It bends with your hands. It has zero memory. So wherever you bend it, that's where you're going to end up. Great product. And like I said, when I first seen it, I thought it was crap. But what the hell do I know?
Well, gentlemen, we're about halfway through the show. Actually, we're a little bit over halfway through the show. We have some sponsors that we run their commercial about halfway through the show. So we call it our sponsor break, but it's don't tell anybody, a.k.a. pee break. We're going to run a little commercial real quick, and we'll be right back, you guys. Hang on just a second.
All right.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
Wow, you guys are quick, man.
Right?
So anyways, me and Jim are here. Do you guys got any questions for us? Fire them away, and would be more than happy to answer them.
Well, go ahead and explain the fine folks in here watching this what your club of the month all consists of, and what can they
take it, Jim, or you?
Let me. I'll be a little shorter and to the point. The Kid of the Month Club is just that, but it's cool because you don't have to pay your way into the club. All we ask is you agree to buy a kit every month. Rick can tell you what the exact prices are. I don't know, but you get your kit, you get an extra set of decals, you get sticker, 3 sets of decals. What a deal!
Yeah,
you get some sort of a club sticker. We even had an iron-on patch a couple months ago. Pretty cool.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
So you get those. We do a Tuesday night live on Facebook that's just for the club. There you go.
Yeah, that's a hard car to get, by the way, that Pepsi car.
Yep.
They're gone.
So we have typically we have at least 2 kits available every month. We have whatever the kit of the month is, and then we have an add-on. And we also try to keep at least 1 Indy car in stock. And we're going through those, but one of the things is all of our stuff is low production. So as I say, there's fresh bread every month, and we don't want stuff to get stale. So we want everything to sell out.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that you can spend $200 on that petty car. But there's always something new. So we've got what is it, 8? Rick, is it 8 or 9 classic cars that are the kit of the month through the years? And
about 10. We usually do 10 classic cars and then 2 next gen cars.
And
through
then
the
we have
month.
other next gens
You
during
get
the
the
year.
champion. You get the champion as your kid of the month. You get your Daytona 500 if we have licensing, and which we do. Byron won this year. And then after that, you get historic cars, but you have the add-ons, and the add-ons are at a much reduced price than the retail. So they buy them, and they pay 0 shipping on them. They add them to their kit of the month, and you can buy for your friends. You can buy. We have no limits. If you join the club, you can buy for 10 other friends. You know what I mean? Or what? Unlimited. You can
That's
buy
awesome.
whatever you want, and it's kind of just a. I'll tell you, the club has grown to a great number, and even with the economy dipping the way it has since summer, September, the
Yep.
club has not moved 1 inch. I mean, in fact, the
Awesome.
club is
Yeah.
as strong as it's ever been.
Yeah.
And they're just great guys, great people. A lot of them are Jim fans. So,
No, they're Mia fans, not me. They're
yeah.
Mia fans.
But anyways, the club's a great thing. Look into it. It's a great deal if
Absolutely.
it's a great deal if you're into that.
It really is. It
We
really is.
understand we're a niche.
I've been a
We're a
proud
niche.
member for 2 years, and I
Oh,
look
okay.
forward. I look forward every month. In fact, I was telling Jim, I'm proud of myself on one thing and kind of ashamed on the other. We were talking early on. I was like, I did a little roll call on my Salvino kits when because I obviously knew you guys were coming on. I have 63 JR Salvino kits, not counting my Wes's modifieds. But I'm ashamed. I'm proud of that, but I'm ashamed to say I haven't built the first one yet.
Hey, you know what? That's part of this hobby, and it starts back
So,
when I was just a kid. Probably older than all you guys. Um, and my dad started with the STP in 1963, and he brought back that Lotus 29 from a car show, and that was my introduction to model kits, right?
Mhm.
And
nice.
that would have been about 1964, I'm guessing, right? And I've always been into it. I bought everything, all the Johann Petty stuff, but I never built it because there was never decals to put on it. But I still bought them. I
Mhm.
mean, we all have 1,000 kits. You know what I mean? I have 1,000 kits. Not even counting our kits. I'm talking other companies' kits.
Right.
You know, and I think that's just part of the. As a friend told me that we race slot cars, whenever I said, why are these guys fighting and arguing? He goes, Rick, it's not toy cars, it's a way of life.
Right.
And really, model car building is a way of life. I
It
mean,
really. Yeah.
it is for all of us.
Kevin
It's
Smith
our
asked.
hobby. It's a way of life.
You were asking earlier if anybody had any questions. Kevin Smith actually, and Bruce was cool enough to highlight them. Kevin Smith asked 2 really good questions. Apparently, at one time, did y'all use waterless decals? Is that true? Did you? And if so, do you still use them?
We
One
did
time we did it.
One time.
one with a really really thin vinyl that just went on so nice. But it we've got Clay Kemp so busy doing our decals anyway, we couldn't add those into the mix. But it was something we would have liked to have done, but we just couldn't pull it off.
I kind
And
of
let
walked
me
into
answer
that.
that. Can I answer
I do.
Kevin's question real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is pigment in the plastic. It does not leach through. That's dyes that were in the old style plastic. It's like when you go to the ice cream parlor and you get a purple or a pink or a green spoon. You don't have a purple or pink or green mouth because it's pigment. So it will not leach through. So you can hit it with whatever is your favorite primer, and you're good.
Yeah,
That's
I'll tell you,
awesome.
I would have talk about primer real quick. I
No
was
worries.
a
Go for it.
Tamiya primer guy. I used to be a buy my primer at the auto parts store, But I went to Tamiya primer for years, and I use a lot of white because I'm a petty builder, of course, with my family. But all of a sudden, that stuff got really runny and crappy, right? And I went. What's the name of that company, Jim? Mister
Mr. Hobby
something
or
or
Mr.
other.
Mr.
Hobby.
Surfacer.
Mr. Hobby.
Mr. Hobby 1500 white primer. Best crap I've ever used in my life. Shout out to whoever the hell makes it.
Yeah.
It is the best primer on the market. It takes I paint in real PPG lacquer.
Yep.
I use MCW lacquer paints, and it takes it 100%. It's beautiful primer, and to me, it used to be good. I don't know what they did. They watered it down or something.
Yeah, I just
But
went through that myself. The Tamiya stuff just
what
attacked one
happened?
of mine. Yeah. Just attacked it, and then it pit it really bad. It just like ate into the styrene on a Revell kit I was working on.
I had that
Yeah,
happen too.
they changed the formula, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
used it for years.
Yep.
It's all watery now. It runs like crazy,
Yep. But the
And
Mr.
but
Hobby,
this
the Mr. Hobby is beautiful product. I love it. Next to real
uh,
automotive primer, that stuff is tremendously good.
And you can
easy
get
to
it.
get to.
And you
Yeah.
can get it in airbrush. You can get it in a bottle, just regular paint where you mix it 50-50 with unicorn tears, or for you rattle can guys, you can get it out of a rattle can, and there's no difference. There really is. I've gotten to where, I'm a huge airbrush guy. I love airbrush work and trying to get better at it. And I've bought all the mahoganies, the pinks, the blacks, all the different grays, and all the 1500, 1200. I've gotten to where now, especially you talking about petty cars, Rick. I'm building a
I
71.
see it. I
Yeah,
see it.
I'm building a 71 short track car, one of the Mopar kit cars from back in the day that Petty was involved with. But and that's laid down with the Mr. Surfacer white primer out of the
Good
rattle can,
product.
man. It works really, really good. It's good stuff, man. And
I got turned on to it by Clay Kemp. You guys
yeah,
know Clay Kemp, right?
yeah. If Clay Kemp is using it, that's all the seal of approval you need.
Yeah,
Anybody can use
well, that's I was bitching and moaning about the to me. All of a sudden, it got really runny, and Clay goes, same thing happened to me. He goes, go get this Mr. Hobby, and I go,
Yeah.
okay, I'll try that, and I put it on, and beautiful, just
I raced
1500.
I
You
raced
don't need to go to the 1,000.
I raced RC cars for a long time with Clay's brother Dusty. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I didn't know that he had a brother for the longest time. And then he was like, "Oh, my brother is big into models." And I'm like, "Really?" And he's like showing me pictures of his brother's models. I was like, "Wow, he's really good." Holy moly.
that
Well,
guy
I
is
mean,
amazing.
I think we've put together a phenomenal team. I mean, with my history with my father in racing. I mean, we do race cars. That's all we do.
Yep.
And it opened every door for us. Um, and then Jim's talent, with his sculpting ability through all these years and ability to transform that into CAD. And then, Clay Kemp and then Mike Herman getting involved. I mean, and even Wes, I
Yeah.
mean, we've really put together a great team, and it's worked out really well. It's
You're leaving out our
I'm
favorite
going to say you
social
left out
influencer
you
from
left
Phoenix.
out one name that I'd like
Yeah.
to bring up,
my. You mean Lucas C? I hate
I
that
do
guy.
mean Lucas C. I want to give
I
I want to
hate
give Matt a
Lucas C.
huge,
Lucas
huge,
C's an
huge
a
shout.
hole.
He
Matt
is he
Matt
is that. He
Conti.
is, but he's
Matt
our a
Conti is
hole,
one of
right?
my
I mean,
best friends.
he's a
Matt Conti
great
is
guy,
my
man.
best friend, but Lucas C's an a hole.
I'm gonna remember that one.
Matt
We got to
Conti,
give
the
him a shout
greatest
out
guy in
though,
the
because if it
world,
wasn't
man.
for him, we wouldn't have been able to connect with you guys. I know the ice was broken with you guys starting your new Saturday thing, and Bruce was able to help you out there, which is awesome, of course. But definitely want to give a big shout out to Matt. A good friend of mine. I appreciate Matt, love Matt to death, and have been able to make good friends with him. But he was able to make the connection for us to have you guys on here. And like I said earlier, it is a huge deal for us to have people of your caliber with your respect and what you guys are bringing to the community. We just, for us, it's awesome, man. We're just a little small show trying to make it happen. Just three guys trying to have some fun and bring something positive to the community. To have you guys on here is absolutely amazing for us. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you,
Mike,
Matt,
if
for connecting.
Mike, you didn't need Matt to hook us up. If you had just picked up the phone and called us, especially me, because I'm a little more accessible. But if you just called, we'd have worked this out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it's-
I got a quick Lucas C story for you, real quick.
Go for it.
I mean that a-hole Lucas C. But Matt Conti. I got a Matt Conti story for you. So Jim's driving out. We just got the molds in. Now the first molds we get, they are literally like two injection boxes with a crap load of inserts. That's all we can afford, right? No one thinks we're gonna make it, right? Matt, he stops by and he goes, I gotta see this guy in Phoenix, Arizona on my way out, right? I go, what the hell are you gonna go do that for? And he met Matt, right? Matt became the biggest believer in our company. He has done more to push our company
Yep.
than anyone out there. I'll tell you, we have to give a ton of credit to Matt Conti.
Yep.
Lucas C. I'll give Lucas C a shout out. But
great guy. What an asset to this community and this hobby that he is. He's introduced me to so many new the Insanity podcast because he just crosses so many genres. Just a great guy. I know he's not in here. Sometimes he comes in and he's probably forgot that we were on because he's Matt. He forgets these things, right? But great guy for sure. One thing I wanted to bring up, Rick. I do some research when I know people are coming on, and I found out about your dad and Pop, as he was known as Pop in the community, and
the
I wanted to
Godfather,
ask you,
actually.
what?
He was
Godfather.
called the
The Godfather,
Godfather
right.
in NASCAR, right?
Right. Did you know that there's a figure out there of your dad when he was on the hood of the 81 Petty car? You remember when he was on the hood of the 81 Petty car and he's got his hat
Oh
in his
yeah, I
hand
was there.
and he's
I worked
he
for
was
my
he was
dad
raising
then.
his arm. There's a
Jim
figure of
sculpted
that.
it.
I
Jim
sculpted that.
sculpted it.
Oh, okay. Well, then then. I in my research I found it. I'm like, that is way cool. As soon as I saw it, I knew right away what it was. And I was like, that is way cool, man. That's way
Well,
cool.
the Pettys have been like family to me. I mean, growing up, in '72 when my father put the decals. Actually, our newest release is a '72 Riverside car that Andy Granatelli. I don't know if you guys remember him, but Andy Granatelli in '72, he left in '73, May of '73 of STP, and that's when my father totally took over. So, but my dad was at the track with the decals, waiting for Andy to finalize the deal with Richard, and they were arguing over the STP red and the Petty blue, right?
Right.
And then they came to the compromise of the half and half, right? And so my dad was at the track. He put the decals on, and we are making that car this month. So I always call that the most important car of the Salvino family history, where the
Now that's
Pettys and the Salvinos became
Murder.
together. I mean,
Yeah.
till this day, I talk to Del Inman every other week. Richard can't talk on the phone, but you guys know who Del is, right? Del Inman.
Yep.
yes.
His
Yep.
Oh
cousin.
yeah. Worked for him for a while.
Well, as Dell says, he won 8 championships. Richard won 7. But but he's 88 years old. We talk every other week, and that we
That's
just
awesome.
grew up together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's their family, and it really helped our company. And hats off to the Pettys, and there's so many. Lauren Rainier. I mean, without him, I don't know where we'd be. I don't know if you guys remember Rainier Racing,
Yep.
but
Hardy's cars.
just so many
The number 28 Hardy's
NASCAR.
cars back in the day. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Lauren Rainier's just been a godsend to this company, and it's kind of funny. It's just all these people that knew my father and their fathers, because we're kind of dealing with the second generation now,
Generation.
Yeah.
Right.
and and we all were there together, but we really didn't know each other, you know, like Eddie Wood and Lynn Wood, right? Um, you know, I seen them, they seen me all the time, but we never really hung out or anything, you know. And but we all knew each other, you know. So we started doing the Wood Brothers cars. You know, we're on the phone for 2 hours, you know, just talking about old crap, you know.
Yep.
So it's actually, this isn't a job. This is absolutely, you know, I think I was put on earth actually to do, you know. This is, I love model cars. I love race cars. And I
That's
think Jim
awesome.
came into my life, honestly, just to do this, you know, because without Jim, there's no way that this could happen. You know, you have to have talent, you know, and I
And
got
just for
none.
the record, Jim,
I
you are
I
a
thought it was
very
just for my
difficult person to
looks.
research.
Yeah.
You are, Jim, you are a very difficult person to research. I don't know if you live in a cave or what you do. I tried to find information on you and try to find something that I could bring up to maybe, and the best I
Blackmail
got
me with.
was
You
the
can
about
hide.
us.
Yep. You can hide. You can hide information out there.
Yes, you can. The best I got was the about us on the JR Salvino's model kits page. I'm like, well, that's what I got. That's what I got to roll with. But
Well, that's the history right there. So you got
that's
it.
it. That's it. We got it
Well, you
now.
guys are doing a really great job. Like I said,
Absolutely.
I'm itching to get in. This is my first one, and I do have the modifieds, the Wes's modifieds, but I'm really itching to build this one this year. And I think you've got me sold. I'm going to become a member here.
Awesome.
Definitely. Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
It's
So
it's
Well,
well worth
thank you
it.
guys for having us, man. We really appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
don't hesitate. We'll come back on, you know, down the road
absolutely.
somewhere, and maybe we could
Absolutely.
introduce some NHRA stuff. And that's our next, you know, we're checking them off one at a time.
I would
NASCAR's
love
the
that.
500-pound gorilla. IndyCar's next, and NHRA is next. And we did do the modified with Wes, thanks to Wes. And now we'll probably have a generic out on that pretty soon. Wes has
We
got a couple more releases, and then we'll do a generic.
That would be
well,
But
great.
in our group, I'm the NASCAR guy. I got like 300 to 500 NASCAR kits, monogram AMT, and of course JR Salvino's. But now you're talking drag racing. That's my buddy Jason. That's his world. He actually owns a couple
yeah,
drag cars, and
I
I
got
love
uh,
drag
drag.
cars here. Yeah. So I'm
he
a big
builds them.
Dodge Chrysler guy. So I have some outlaw
Hey,
street cars, drag stuff. So
step one is caps, and then we'll just move on forward through it like we did with
yep.
NASCAR. we
Yeah. So
we
you
started
guys
off
ever
with a
want to
gray
do
ghost.
if you guys ever want to do like shout outs, new product shout outs, we'll be glad to have you on here to
Absolutely.
do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jim,
Well,
you've got
thank you.
Bruce's email or whatever. Let us know. We can get you. We're on every Thursday night, and we would love to have both you guys, or individually, or whatever works out with your schedule. We'd love to have both you guys back. Been an awesome show tonight. We've been told it's the fastest hour
In the
on
modeling
YouTube, and then you
community.
guys created your channel, so I think we got some competition on Saturday for the fastest hour on YouTube. But
Well, like
can't
I
take
said, you ever want to give me a call? My phone number is on the box. But you know what? For the modelers, this is the best time for the hobby ever.
Amen. I
Because
call it the goal. This is our golden
because
years right now.
there are so many different companies. There's new companies. There's new companies in the different genres that are putting out stuff. You know, there's us, and now the new explosion of printed stuff.
Oh, it's
That
amazing.
it's just insane. And then we've got how many different decal makers. It's just for the hobby builders. This is the best time ever.
It is. It's
Well, I
literally,
mean,
I say it all the time. It's our golden years for the hobby.
Yep.
And I think it has a lot to do with COVID. I mean, I think COVID
Yeah.
really got us back at our benches because we couldn't go
Yep.
anywhere else. So, but you guys doing what you're doing, we want to hold you up to the light. Can't thank you guys enough. I remember back in 2018 when I first started hearing that you guys were, creating stuff, and then there was the whole back and forth with the modified thing. Little quick history: my family is all about Northeast modifieds. My brother's a big racer up there in the Northeast. And so I was like all about it. And then when the Gray Ghost came out, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm all in. I've got four of them. I mean, I bought every one I could find. That was before I joined the club, but I bought every one I could find, man. That car is just so iconic. It's a
Well,
beautiful car. You guys couldn't have picked a better car to start with.
it was accidental. It was supposed to be 79 Petty, but Rich, it's a long story. I'll tell it next time. But anyways, one thing you think about, you say it's the golden era of race car models. It is. Who would think that it's Penske Wood Brothers, Penske, right? Would release a car today, right? Today, and it's for sale tomorrow or
Right.
tonight
Right.
Yeah.
on our site, and you can have it in 60 days.
Right.
I mean,
Boom, to you.
whenever did that happen in the history of model car building? Never.
Never,
Yeah. No.
never. You guys are bringing so much to the hobby, and we can't thank you guys enough for all that. I'm a huge Waddell Wilson fan. So with the Gray Ghost
Oh,
and what he did with that, and his, what he was doing with aerodynamics and all that back then, I mean, that was just amazing. And again, we can chase that rabbit for days, and Rick, I'm
yeah.
sure you and I can go back and forth about it, but
You
it's
got
just
to go back to we had one of our shows. Waddell was on for the full hour.
really, that is
Yeah,
somebody I would
go back to
love
some of
to.
the old shows. Oh, Waddell told, I'm going to get him on now that we have the type of podcast like you guys, right?
Oh, he was
But
hilarious.
Oh,
he
that
he
dude.
he went back to how he got the job at Holman and Moody, swept the floors. He was a
Mhm.
decent. Oh, it's a great
Yeah,
story. If you have the chance, try and go back and find that. We had Dell
I
Inman
will. I
on.
will.
We've had Rainier on. We're gonna have a bunch of guests. We're just trying to figure out this, podcast thing. You know what I mean? We're
Well,
as you said, I can't find the center of the screen yet. But we're
same here.
getting there.
Well, Jim, you can expect that phone call now because I might be trying to hook my little red wagon to you. Be like, you had who on? Can we have? Can you open the door for us? But and in respect for your guys' time, we want to thank you again for coming on. You guys are awesome.
Thank
We
you.
look forward to all the new releases. Look forward to IndyCar. I don't have one of the Indy cars yet. I'm looking forward to getting myself one and building one of those Indy cars. So because that's kind of outside of my wheelhouse. I mean, it's still a model car, but I've built some of the Tamiya kits way back in the day. So I'm excited about getting my first JR Salvino's Indy car. And Rick, I know you're huge on them, but I can't thank you guys enough. And I know that Jason, yeah, I'm pulling a Rick. I'm gonna shut up, Jason. You talk.
Yeah,
Oh, is it my turn to
exactly.
talk?
Sorry, I'm excited about these guys,
No,
man.
we really appreciate you guys coming on. It means a lot. You're our first model manufacturer to come on the show, and we would love to hear from others just so that they can all have their 10 minutes of fame to explain to the fans how they go about producing it. And I think we all can agree we could chase rabbit holes all night. So we're definitely got to do this again. You guys have been
Absolutely.
great hosts, great guests, great hosts here. So
Remember one thing about our model cars. With the tariffs and all that stuff, forget about it. Everything is made in the USA except for the decals or cartograph of Italy. So,
okay,
And I'll pay
yeah,
extra for that all
yeah,
day long.
hey, there
Absolutely.
you go, brother. You
That's
got
it.
it
I'll pay
right.
extra for that all day long. Bruce, you
Thank
got
you again
anything
for
for the
the
guys?
invitation and all the help, Bruce. I
Oh, you're
greatly
welcome.
appreciate the help.
for
Glad
sure.
you can help.
Well, guys, Jim, Rick, if you guys got a few seconds, I know Bruce is going to roll our exit video. If you guys got a few seconds, don't click off. We'll get into the green room and have a little quick conversation. Rick, I know you're in your car. If we're holding you up from something,
I
you
got
got
to
to go.
run. Actually, Jim will
I
stay.
understand.
I got
I
to run.
understand.
I jam with his band, my old band here, once a month. and they're waiting for me. So
Okay.
I'm
Go
gonna
do your thing, brother. We
check
understand.
out,
Have
and
Thank you,
fun.
Jim
guys.
will answer all your questions. I appreciate it, guys.
Have
Thanks
fun,
for
Thanks,
guys.
having
Rick.
Go
us.
check out JR
God bless
Salvinos,
all of
man. They
you.
got great stuff.
Talk to you later, Rick.
See you, Rick.
Chat. Go. Who wants to go first on the sign off?
I will. Thanks again, everybody, for coming on and joining. We had a really popular big chat here going. It was going by fast. Sorry I didn't answer a lot of your questions, but when you got guests like this on, it's very hard to focus on both. So thanks to Jim and Rick for coming on, and of course my host Mike, and can't forget our great producer Bruce. So
Bruce, you want to go next? Or you want me to go next?
Sure. I'm Bruce from Bruce's Eclectic-World, and I also want to thank Rick and Jim for coming on the show. We'd be excited to have them back because the chat has just flew by.
yeah,
We've had 57 at one time, I think. So that's great. And Jim, glad I could help out. And anytime you have a question, you got my number.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that leaves me. I want to thank, obviously, want to thank Jim and Rick. I know Rick is gone now, but I want to thank Jim and Rick for taking time out of their day. They're all busy for coming on to our little show, and we definitely appreciate that. The chat, you guys were awesome. I echo what Jason was saying. I could not keep up. I was trying my best,
Yeah.
but I could not keep. I think I got one high end to everybody. Let everybody know that I was actually not a robot. But my co-host Jason and our awesome producer, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But one more big shout out to our good friend Matt Lucasy. Without him, we wouldn't have been able to make this connection. So I want to give a big shout out to Matt. Thank you guys in the chat so much. Y'all be good. Be good at it. Be safe. Be kind to others. Here's you one of those big old thumbs ups. And we'll see you next week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the AMC Livecast.
yes, roll it.